greater tragedy. And every addict, as we eat the pills or drink the booze or go for the sex or go for the mood alteration, we're trying to get back to that authentic self. We're trying to find salvation, so that our addictions are a metaphor of our deep spiritual bankruptcy. Because once you lose yourself, you're spiritually bankrupt. You're spiritually bankrupt. This is what Bill W. and Dr. Bob understood. There's no recovery from addiction until you've had a spiritual awakening. What Nietzsche understood, until you get back to your healthy shame, which is the safeguard of your spirituality. Because how can I be spiritual if I don't know who I am? See, there's what I call shame-based religion all over the place. What it is you just act out being righteous. They tell you how to be righteous and you pretend. They tell you how to be loving, so you pretend that you're loving. You have a smile, you have a loving smile. You become a joy addict. There's a lot of religious addiction that's dominated by joy addiction. So they're always smiling at you. You know, your dad died. Oh, that's wonderful. Aren't you lucky that God loves you so much? And you're in all this crap in your life. That's wonderful. Most people, they scare me. I want to get them out of there. Get me away from this person. They're running around telling you how much God must love you because all this crap has happened to you. So see, it's another way to be a false self. It's just another way. And I mean, I acted that role out for years as a seminarian, studying to be a priest. I was a little priestlet with a collar on. I taught priestlet language. I knew how to talk like a seminarian and play the role to the hilt. And I catch myself constantly still doing it. I mean, I will act like I think you imagine me to act. I am self-image actualized rather than self-actualized, if that makes sense. It's like I'm always making this scene of how I'm going to be rather than just being the way I am. See, in a healthy family, they look at the way you are and they orchestrate that so that you can become who you are. In an unhealthy family, you have to become who they want you to be. You have to give up yourself and you have to take on one of these roles. So in the recovery process, there's got to be a healing because these two adult children can't possibly raise this child. It's two, 180-pound 4-year-old and a 130-pound 4-year-old raising a 40-pound 4-year-old. You can imagine what's going to happen. And I've said this a lot. You see, here are two adult children. They're both needy. When this kid is needy by nature, not by choice. So we talk about your developmental dependency needs. What happens when this kid gets needy? These two kids get angry. These two parents get angry. And I will bet you that if you're from a dysfunctional family, the time you got abandoned the most is when you were the most needy. When you most needed someone to love you, you got abandoned. And that's one of the tragedies of being in a dysfunctional family. So in the healing process, we've got to go back and make the abandonment real. Fritz Perls said, nothing changes till it becomes what it is. I call this the recovery process in my book. That you've got to find a network. We got to see, one of the great things that's happening in this country now is people are coming from all over. And we're all taking our mask off and we're saying, yeah, I can identify with that. See, I think there's a great fortuitousness in the term codependency. It's a lot better than a borderline personality, isn't it? Wouldn't you rather be codependent than a borderline personality, for God's sake? Or a paranoid schizophrenic? Or a schizoid? Or a depressive personality? I'd much rather be codependent. I don't know. There's just something about it that it has a more euphemistic sound. So I think the great fortuitousness of codependency is that people are just coming out of the woodwork and say, yeah, I can identify with that. And boy, I can identify with those traits, from dysfunctional families, and that's okay. And so we're coming out of hiding. We're talking to each other, and we're sharing our experience, strength, and hope together. That's the first step in recovery. It's coming out of hiding. Because if you're from a dysfunctional family, you're carrying all that shame. And shame goes for secrecy and hiding. The only way out of the shame is to embrace the shame. The only way out of the shame is to embrace the shame. I've got to come out of hiding. So I call that the recovery process. Finding a friend you can talk to, or a 12-step group, or a therapy group, or a non-shaming church or synagogue group, or whatever. And the second step is doing this original pain work, going back into that family system and finding out what happened to you, making it real. Now, it's not a blame game. We're not blaming parents. We're just saying they were backing out of the driveway and they ran over you. They didn't mean to. Hey, they didn't mean to. They did the best they knew how to do. So do you get it that intention is not relevant? We don't care what the intention was. You got run over. And you've been limping for 41 years. And you need to know what to do to heal the limp. And what you do is you make it real. And you get in touch with the pain about it. And you get to the anger about it. You don't go to your parents with that because they didn't do it intentionally. But you get a batonka stick and beat a chair, or you get in a psychodrama, or you go to Sharon Werkscheider Cruz Family Reconstruction, or you go to Gestalt, or you do a New Life Family Workshop, or you do something that helps you get back into to re-experience the original feelings. It's called original pain work. And I call it the uncovering process, the uncovering what happened to you. Nothing changes till it becomes real. This is grief work.